Yep, you read the title correctly. Hey everybody, how's it going? It's me, the Y2K reviewer, and making a video about the Yakuza franchise, specifically about this little game right here. Before you go off in the comments, I'm sure some of you out there already will. This is not to refund Yakuza 3, okay? But I do want to talk about this game, and there's a reason why I haven't made a review of it yet after all this time. And I'm pretty sure some of you out there like a review of it. What do you mean? I've made game reviews because I'm sure I have a lot of new audience members and subscribers. They're really old and they're really obscure, and that's really a shame because there's some of my best work with really beautiful, wonderful editing skills put into them. Please go check them out. I reviewed Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1, and Kiwami 2, and that was a lot of fun. And I went from Kiwami 2 to this game, and I do want to talk about that because some people did talk about that, touch on that, why people don't like Yakuza 3 so much. It's not entirely that, like, simple, okay? And I'm pretty sure a lot of fans know that, because we all know, we're all adults, right? Playing this, I feel like most audience members of Yakuza are ages 20, like, in their early 20s to, like, early 30s, between 20s and 30s. We all know games really back in the day. We all know the series came on the PS2 first. Most of us know that. So we all know it has nothing to do with its age. It has to do with its design, and we're going to get into that. And it's not entirely the game's fault. I will say it too. And I just want to say that I do not want to take away how you feel about this game. And this is your favorite game in the series, let it be your favorite game in the series. If this is like your favorite game ever made, let it be your favorite game ever made. If this is your favorite Yakuza game, whatever. Like, let that be. I don't want to take this away from you. I know it can be frustrating when people talk negatively about things you enjoy. It is. And I understand. But I'm not here to talk down on people who actually like this game. I don't believe it. I try my best to not do that kind of thing. I have standards. I have certain exceptions and expectations on the human race in general when it comes to anything, including art. However, if this is not a bad product, at the end of the day, well, kind of. There is a story to it behind that, and I do want to talk about that. I do, and we're going to in this video. And I don't know if I'm going to make an official game review of this yet or not. This might be that review. This video. I know, right? That's kind of lame. Because I went all out for 0, Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2. And I really enjoyed the likes of Yakuza 4. And just by the way, this is not the official box art. This is custom made for the PS3 version. I love it. It's a Japanese box art made into a US version. This is what the game actually looks like. Yuck. I know. It's so weird and bizarre. It's just Kiryu's face on the side right here. Alright, I keep forgetting it's not a mirror. But I do not like that box art. I don't think anybody is really a fan of it. But yeah, this is the way the game looks in Japan. But yeah, I like Yakuza 3, but I don't love it to death, and I want to talk about that. So, I recently replayed all the games, or not all of them. I'm sorry, I'm still playing through them for the first time. I'm now on Yakuza 4, and I kind of opened my eyes up into something. I'm realizing that, like, you don't need to, like, really play these games in time in order to fully enjoy them. As long as you know the plot and the story, you should be pretty much good to go. Let's talk about the positives, right? I noticed a lot of people who enjoy this game, who generally defend it, say this game is crucial to Kiryu's character development. And okay, alright, I will somewhat agree to that, yes. He does grow more as a character, but he gradually grows throughout each game in general as, like, a father figure and everything, or just as a person. So, yeah, that is important, and this game does introduce the orphanage kids and all that great stuff in Morning Glory, and that's wonderful, it is, but at the end of the day, Yakuza 3, all that side content stuff is just fluff. It's nice to see it. It's nice to see Kiryu happy with these kids and with Haruka. It's beautiful. I love those moments. Okay, I'm not trying to say those moments don't matter, because they do. However, every anime has its beach episode, right? So that's what this is. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you to skip Yakuza 3 if you're new to the series. A lot of fans say that. They say you should skip the third game, it's not worth playing. And I kind of do feel that way, but I still feel like you should give it a fair shot. However, if you've been playing the series in normal difficulty, I highly recommend playing Yakuza 3 in easy mode, because overall, at the end of the day, you're not going to fully enjoy playing this game, especially if you're coming off of the Kiwami series, which most fans will be. And it has nothing to do... That's definitely a part of it, but that's not entirely the reason why people haven't been fully enjoying this game. Coming from Kiwami 2 to Yakuza 3, is not entirely it, because then there's this masterpiece of a game right here. Okay, Yakuza 4, and I love this game. I'm loving it. Now, I know I'm showing the PS3 versions, but I have the remaster right here. This is the version I've been playing. I'm gonna replay 1 through 5 on the PS2 and 3 later on. I used to own the first two, but I sold them off. I'm gonna rebuy them. But right now I'm playing the undubbed version of 1, and I'm enjoying that. And I'm enjoying the original Yakuza game. The original, Like a Dragon, right? The first one from 2005, 2006, on the PS2 in Japanese, the Japanese undubbed version, more than this game. Again, I'll say it again. Age has nothing to do with it. The year it released has nothing to do with it. Okay? I see fans online saying, oh, it's because it's a 2009 game. That doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of amazing games that came out in 2009. Batman Arkham Asylum is one of them. I think Mario Galaxy came out in 2007, but it came out around that time, Sonic Unleashed. That came out in 2008, especially the Xbox 360 version. BioShock came out around that time. Fallout 3, I believe, or New Vegas were being released around this time. What? That's such a dumb, asinine thing to think. Oh, people can't enjoy a game from 2009. No. No. It has nothing to do with that. Okay? But it does have to do for the fact that this game is designed on a new engine. This is the second entry during that during the HD era. I think the first one was a Yakuza Ishin game, one of the ones when the characters are from ancient Japan, which we never got that game. That's kind of weird to me, because this game, I'm not going to say this game feels dated. That's not it. No. It just feels rough to play. There is a difference. They're not the same thing. You can tell when a game feels kind of dated. And at times you can say this game may feel dated, but I don't really think of it like that. I think of it like, oh boy, there's some parts that should have been fixed up, and they're not really fixed up in the remastered version. I've only played Yakuza 3 Remastered. I haven't even played this yet, and it's still rough, and that is upsetting. I feel I don't know why they didn't do this. I'm not sure if they could have programmed it or not, but in the remastered version, you should be able to at least save your progress whenever you want to. It's so silly that they didn't implement that, because they knew that every new fan, every person that was getting into the series was going to play 3 after Kwami 2 and then 4 and 5 when they released this. And I was upset as soon as I found out that they were doing this and no Kwami 3. At the time, I was like, why are they just porting them? Why aren't they remaking all of them? What the heck? I'm still upset about that. However, the original Yakuza 4 is still a pretty fantastically well-designed game. It's giving me flashbacks to Yakuza 0, which is awesome, because I'm guessing Yakuza 0's story definitely, and even the gameplay a little bit, definitely took a lot of inspiration from Yakuza 4. It absolutely 100%. It connects to the 80s. There's a bunch of different. It's all revolved around the main story is revolved around this main female character whose life got destroyed because of certain events, very similar to what happens in Yakuza 0. So I'm like, wow, this is kind of awesome. In every character you play as in that game is connected to this female character, just like Yakuza 0. And one of the big differences between Yakuza 4 and 0 though, is that in 0, the two characters you play as, Majima and Kiryu, don't really interact, or they never intertwine until the very last cutscene ending of the game after the credits. They finally meet each other, face to face. I don't know if it's the first time they're officially meeting. I think it is. I think it is. But in Yakuza 4 though, you play as these four protagonists right here. Kiryu, I think that's Tanimura, that's it right there. I believe that. Wow, he doesn't look anything like Tanimura in the actual game. I think that's his name. With T-A, Saejima right there, and Akiyama, and I believe all four of them do meet. These Kiryu and Akiyama walking side by side right there on the back. There's even that one iconic cutscene from this game of all four of them. I think walking up to the Millennial Tower. I'm not sure which building it is, but there's a sunset glow in Kamurocho, and all four of them are looking like basses walking side by side together. So yes, they do indeed intertwine. So okay, all right. Could you just skip Yakuza 3 and go on to Yakuza 4 though? like I said, I'm not going to tell you to do that because 4 does call back 3 a few times, and it's like, oh man, it's so cool that they're doing that. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, that did happen. There is one major character that gets shined on in Yakuza 4 that was a piece of shit in Yakuza 3, and that is, I think his name is Hamika or Hamarika. I think that's his name. But again, like one of the major best parts about the Yakuza games is if you jump into any game, the previous games do their best to explain what happens. In fact, sometimes on like the main menu, it'll give you like a little description of what happened in like the previous game. If you go over to like options or extras, I know Yakuza 6 does that, but I'm not sure about the other games. Excuse me. Okay, so now I want to take the time to kind of look at what other people thought and felt about the game. Again, I beat this game just last month or two. It took me over a year to finish it, guys. Not because I was taking my time with it for a reason. I wasn't really fully enjoying it, and I really tried. There's definitely great moments in the story and gameplay. There are, yes, but it's sluggish. It's a very sluggish game. There's a lot of blocking when it comes to combat, which is not any fun. And even though Yakuza 3, it might be the worst one in the series, it's still not a bad game. It's still a good game to play through. This is no, like Sonic 06 or anything like that, or Sonic 4 even. It's not like that. This is still a pretty, or like Mario's Missing. No, it's still not a bad game. It's just like the weakest link, the black sheep, I guess you could say. And that's saying something, because sometimes a franchise, like, it's like I can think of another franchise where like that's kind of prominent, where it's like there's like a bad part of the story, but it's not really bad. It's just kind of like it just has like bad parts to it, but like most of that section is still pretty enjoyable. That would be One Piece. One Piece has 2 story arcs 3 that I can think of that weren't really that great. That I still was like, I'm so glad I witnessed it. One of them, though, I'm like, no, that should not have been there. And that is the Foxy Pirates arc. That was terrible, in my opinion. But the Long Long Island stuff was still paid off, so that's okay. Sorry for, again, this video is going to be spoilers all over the place with different franchises, okay? So for me, that would be like, the first arc, I was kind of like, oh, okay. And that was mostly because of its ending with Skypiea. The fight with Enru and Luffy didn't do it for me. Because it was pretty predictable and one-sided. I was like, I know Luffy's going to beat him, but it was with ease. And I didn't really enjoy that, because it was a real struggle for him to defeat the likes of Crocodile and Arlong. And that was really epic. Luffy versus Crocodile was my favorite, first big iconic fight in the series. It's such an underrated moment. Like the Alabasta arc, I feel like is so underrated. Not a lot of people talk about it, because like, oh my god, Dressrosa and NL Down or Impel Down are like the best arcs, and don't get me wrong, Impel Down was freaking incredible. Yes, I loved it. I just finished the Fishman Island arc. That's the other one I thought was kind of like, okay. And same thing with the Thriller Bark too. Now they're not terrible parts of the story, or no, of course, especially if you're a longtime fan, they're not terrible. There's a lot there that pays off, but I feel like there's just some elements to like the way the narrative is like portrayed that's a little weak compared to like what we have seen and what has been written before. And I can't totally blame Oda for it. It's not like that, because he's doing what he feels is best. And some fans may not know this, but One Piece was originally going to be a 5-year story, so he keeps coming up with new imaginative ideas for it, and that's why it's a whole drawn-out storyline. And I feel like sometimes maybe these are, remember, it's all on paper originally. It's all in comic book manga form. So these ideas are literally on paper, and to him, he might think these are all incredible. But there's just some moments that kind of like stunk. And maybe the manga version is better. I'm sure it is, because I'm watching. I'm not really. I haven't really read One Piece, and I've been a fan of it for the longest time, since 2010. And I just finished the Fishman arc. I know, since 2010. Yes, 14 years. I know. But I have also rewatched the show. I think a total of maybe at least 2 times over. I think maybe 3, because I've been showing it to my kids. Yeah. Okay, so technically 3, but for my first time viewing, I just finished the Fishman Island arc. I did, and I know what happens. I know the whole story by I know the big moments. You know what I mean. I look at spoilers myself. Because this series is long running. I want to catch up to it though, however, before we find out what the treasure is. So I really am trying to buckle down and get into it now. I know when they reveal the One Piece treasure, Oda's gonna make an announcement. Hey, it's gonna be only a few months or a year from now until I reveal what the treasure is. I'm sure I'm more than confident that he will make some kind of announcement. He'll say One Piece is gonna end in like a year or two. He's gonna say when it will. I'm sure he will. He said this is the last arc. So a couple years ago, he's like it should take about 5 years. It's been a couple years already. So I'm sure he'll let us know when the end is really coming, and we'll know because I'll be like, oh my god, Shanks is gonna show up and all this stuff's happening. They're gonna get to the island. I will know personally. So anyways, okay, sorry. I'm trying to catch up. This is not about One Piece. It's about Yakuza. I know they're both franchises from Japan, and they're both long running. So I'm trying to think of something from the West that's kind of like that. I guess you could consider the original Star Wars saga from episodes 1 to 6. And we're thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Episodes 1 and 2 are terrible. I know, but they're not really. They had terrible execution, but the storyline, the plots were actually really good and interesting. That's another part of how you could be like. That's another example how it's like, yes, there's a weak link, but at the end of the day, it's still not that bad. It's still a pretty enjoyable experience, and there's still elements that are likable, like the final fight with Darth Maul, and the Clone Wars, the Clone Army was awesome. The huge, what was that big battle arena in episode 2, the fight with Count Dooku, seeing Anakin's darker side coming out, everything going on with Obi-Wan's personal journey. Jango Fett was awesome. I'm talking about some positives from Attack of the Clones. I also like the music. I like Phantom Menace a bit more. Not a big Jar Jar fan or anything. It's definitely a nostalgia thing. And episode 3 is just an epic film. It's not perfect, but it's the third best one in my opinion from the original saga. I like it more than episode 6. Actually, I think I like them equally because I love all the Darth Vader and Luke stuff in episode 6. Everything going on with Luke and his father is it's wonderful writing. It is. It's really great. As a kid, that's my favorite Star Wars movie. It was. Now I think it's just episode 3. I don't know. I think it is. I think it's like everyone's favorite nowadays. And 4 and 5, they're all great. And I also I personally really like 7, and I feel bad for episode 7. I feel terrible for episode 7, Force Awakens, because it was like it was built up and then everything just crashed and burned. Oh, hurt my arm. And even the cast members were like, what the fuck happened? I feel bad for them, like Daisy Ridley and everybody else. Like, it sucks. Because they were like, yeah, this is going to be great. We're doing Star Wars. Episode 7 was a fun... I don't care what you say. Episode 7 is a good movie. Okay? It's a good Star Wars movie. It's a good movie. The everything about that project is so overwhelmingly positive, and, like, it had great reception. I don't give a shit what anyone else says. Okay, but everything else that came after it, in terms of what came out in theaters, I know it does not hold up to par. Like, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck happened? Like Rogue One, in hindsight, at the time I thought Rogue One was going to be like forgotten and just like, now it's like the second best Disney related Star Wars film. I had no idea that was going to happen. Rogue One and Force Awakens are really the only two that are worth watching, right? Yeah, you could just skip Last Jedi and Episode 9, and you should. That's the one time I would say yes. Yes, you are wasting your time with those movies. I'm sorry, but you are. It's a real shame. You're better off reading the books. Disney should definitely rewrite those stories, put them in... Don't release a whole new movie, but like do like a little animated cartoon or something at least, or like a book. I don't know. Well, there's the original books as well. I know, but anyways, this is about Star Wars. I'm getting really off track here. Okay, let's focus on Yakuza. So I really want to focus on what other people online had to say about the series 2 a little bit, and I looked it up, and I was trying to make a video about this like a while ago. This review right here is kind of how I feel like by this peepee head person. Like at the end of the day, I pretty much agree with what they're saying. This game is underrated. IMO. The story is amazing throughout the game. It does take a while to pick up steam, but the orphanage section is great at exploring Kiryu as a person. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. Most of the new characters are good, like Mine. Hamazaki, that's his name. Hamazaki is an interesting character. And my boy, Faithful Rikia. Rikia was great. I can't believe, again, spoilers, it broke my heart when he got killed. I was hoping that he wouldn't get killed. That was so sad. This right here. This is what I remember him. I always remember him for this part. It's so funny. Like him acting gay with Kieran. Kieran's just like, all right, come on, man. Just so then the two of them could get into a dating hotel because they're trying to. It was for a bigger purpose, but it's just such a funny, great moment. But yeah, man, I absolutely love Rikiya. He's a great character. All right. But on to what I didn't like about the game. Oh, look at this. There's so much more to read. One, there are many characters that aren't interesting or I don't care about, like Nakahara and his daughter. I personally did like Nakahara and his daughter, but I can see why you would think they're boring. I think he was that one. Yeah, this guy. Yeah. Shigeru Nakahara. Yeah, I can see why this person didn't really enjoy like them being in the story. And one of the new Yakuza bosses. Okay. 2. My main issue with this game is the combat. Specifically that the enemies block everything, making the fights take too long. And that the side content is honestly okay, but not great. Again, this is why I highly recommend playing Yakuza 3 on easy if you haven't played it yet. And the other ones, play them on normal if you want to, but play 3 on easy. Like, seriously. It will make the experience a lot more tolerable. Yeah. And I hate saying that. But it's true. Like, it's very true. You should not skip this game if you're looking to play the series. This is what I'm saying. It's a great game after playing this game again. I don't know if I would say great, but it's definitely good. Oh, yeah, okay, maybe I would say great. Okay, all right. I like it more, but some other problems I have with the game is the heat system it takes. 3 heat actions that eventually get brought into Yakuza 4 and 5. But in this, they made it only for use in set bosses, which I don't like. And also, again, this Yakuza 3 is like the first of its kind again after coming off of 2 after the PS3. So we can forgive it for its flaws, but the flaws are still there. So we gotta look into that. Whoever thought that mashing R2 was a good thing, who thought that? Oh my god, this person has a tough... Okay, it's suffering with the rope. I don't think they meant for it to sound like this, but yeah. Pretty much everything I've said about the game and the combat, they do block a lot. It's just simply a different style. Well, it's not my favorite combat. I would give that to either Yahoo, just 4 or 5. It's not that bad. Just wants to kind of more... Alright, yeah. Oh, they mentioned Yakuza 0, which is a masterpiece. So, I don't think it's fully fair to compare Yakuza 3. I'm not going to compare Yakuza 3 to the previous games. To, like, 0, 1, and Kwame 1, Kwame 2, because I know this game was made before them. That's not fair to do. But it's very jarring. There's a big whiplash playing Yakuza 3, Kwame 2 from 3. Now, they didn't have to, like, remake the game from the ground up, but, like, remastering it a bit more would have been nice. Like... It's not only just the combat stuff. It's also not very pretty to look at. There's a YouTuber that made a video about that, and I agree with it. I forgot. Oh man, let's see if I can find him. Because I was watching his day. I was looking at the Ben Schwartz video here. I was watching his video just the other day, and I agreed with what he was saying for the most part. Yakuza 3. Oh my god. Yeah, I like Dot Command. I haven't finished yet. Was it? No, it was this one. Yeah. Snowiest Enderman. Why we need a Kwame 3. Check this video out.
Yeah, give me a both.
We are getting it. But he said his biggest issue with Yakuza 3 is that it's just not pretty to look at. It's a very ugly game. And he's right. I was so astonished by the NPCs when you first play the game in your Kamarocho with Kiryu and Haruka. The NPCs are walking on goofy, like they're walking their arms out like this and stuff, like they're just doing huge walk cycles. I'm like, what is going on? Like this is whoa. And Haruka is like up to Kiryu's like. She's like up to like she looks really tall compared to how she looked in Kwame 2. Kiryu looks kind of short and stackish. Like the character models don't look very pretty. Again, they could have kept like most of the gameplay elements intact. They could have just maybe ported over the Kiwami models or something. I don't know, but like, jeez Louise, like I'm not sure they could have done that. But you can tell they didn't really want to do too much work with it. But it suffers at the end of the day, and a lot of fans get turned off by it. Like I feel like maybe they just don't care for the game, but that can't fully be it because now they're talking about actually remaking it, which is awesome. So let's look at what these people said. Yakuza 3 is the worst. Is it the story or the combat? It's both for me. I'm sorry. I didn't hate the story. I will say that right now. But it's like 50-50. It's kind of like how I feel about Sonic 06. It's kind of like a mirror image. They like reflect off each other. The gameplay and the story are both problematic. They have elements that are enjoyable, but they also have elements that are like, what the heck? Like, this could have been worked out. This could have been fixed. But it's not a Sonic 06 quality level of bad, which I don't even think Sonic 06 is that bad of a game. As much as I used to. I've mellowed out a lot more with that game. I feel like that game is getting too much shit. I haven't played it in years, though, but I don't know why the hell Shadow the Hedgehog's game is getting more praise than Sonic 06 today. Like I said, this is the only time I'm gonna kind of talk down on people enjoying things. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. Shadow the Hedgehog is a terrible game, okay? And the people who actually defend and love that game, most of them haven't actually finished it to completion to get to the final Doom boss fight. I did. I'm one of those people that completed that fucking game and it wasn't worth it. That's the only 3D Sonic game I played to the final boss that absolutely was not worth it. And that's really saying something. It sucked. Even Secret Rings with its jaggedy ass, like with its like, you know, with its really rough, not rough, but like with its really like frustrating like control scheme with the Wiimote was more badass of an ending with fighting Eraser Jin. I've always enjoyed the Sonic 06 final boss, Solaris. It's not perfect, no, but it feels epic and awesome. But fuck, man, like Final Doom sucked. I'm sorry. It just wow. I cannot wait for Sonic Shadow Generations because that game is going to do Shadow justice all over again. And Shadow deserves better. He does. He's a great character. Okay. Anyways, let me continue on. That's a bad game in my opinion. Okay, I'm sorry, but it is. So is Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric. Not a fan. Not at all. I don't fully blame that game, but damn. Okay, sorry. So far, I don't mind being a dad, or I don't mind being Dad Kiryu since it's so wholesome. Yeah, no, this person's 100% right, Cloud. I agree with you, man. But all the fights are ridiculous. Yes, it's like not hard, just stupid how all enemies block your attacks and you can barely land any hits unless you loop around them with a dodge. Maybe they can update the remastered version. I know, but it's just it's frustrating. Yes, Yakuza 3 is the worst mainline entry so far. So take that as a quality. Dad Q is great, but the issue is how many infringers stuff should become side content. After Q first set a commercial show in 2009 because it would run. Yeah. It's almost at the point to where I want to skip it, but I felt the same way. Like I was like, I'm going to skip Yakuza 3, but I was playing through it. I was also like, no, I don't want to do that because I want to get through it. And was the ending worth it? Let me think about it. I don't remember who the hell the final boss was in Yakuza 3. That's how forgetful that game is. Holy crap! Who is the final boss in Yakuza 3? I don't even remember. This guy? Who is he? Oh, I kind of remember him. Yeah, with the hospital room. Okay, I remember that, but... Okay, alright. But I remember this character. The Kazuma twin guy. Yeah, Joji. So Kazuma is Kiryu's father figure. We all thought he died. He is dead. He gets killed off in Yakuza 1. I like Yakuza 1 a lot, but that game makes me feel so sad because of its plot. It's my second least favorite game in the series because of how tragic it is. But that's also part of why I kind of like love the game. I don't know. I love Yakuza 0 and 2 the most so far, and 4. And I'm just going to skip around the series, and I'm playing 7 right now, and I'm enjoying it, because it's like, you don't really need to play them in time and order if you know what happens. I do 100% agree with that. I do. But I still believe you should probably beat each game in order, but if you want to, like, play each one, like, side by side, and then, you know, progress through the swords, okay, I'm going to wait off on Yakuza 6 here, and jump back into, like, 2 and finish it, or something. I'm just being random. Like, yeah, like, I think you should play them kind of like that, because that's kind of how I play the Legend of Zelda games, and I'm like, Yakuza should be treated the same way, I feel like, and even the Sonic games, that's how I do the Sonic games. It's like, yeah, but yeah, okay, anyways, this character, he's basically Kiryu's uncle figure. He is Kazuma's twin brother, And they bond. Like, him and Kiryu bond. Like, he did something really, really stupid and bad, but then he's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And, well, no, he gets into it. It's not really dumb, but he shot Dojima, but he knew he would live, I think. And I think that's the story. I can't remember. But however, yeah, see, they do bond, and he had potential. He doesn't get killed off, okay? He lives at the end of Yakuza 3, but that's the only game he's ever in. So why do we have this character who is basically related to the main character, but we don't have them come back in the main storyline? That to me adds more reason to believe that Yakuza 3 is kind of a waste to get through. It's like, what? You're not missing much. If you want to now listen, it's your decision at the end of the day. I can't control you. If you personally feel like that you want to skip Yakuza 3, I'm telling you right now that it's totally okay to do. I think it'd be wise to at least give the game a break. Like get into it a little bit, and then play the 4th one. Play the 5th one. Play the 6th one. Play whichever one you want to after you play 3 for a little bit. And then come back to it later. It's not worth slogging through it. Unless you play, and then play it on easy mode. Please, I highly recommend it. Please, please, please. If you want 100% it, that's up to you. I know a lot of fans do it. They have 100% it every single game. So that's up to you. I even want to, but that's a lot of trophy hunting to do. I don't know if the difficulty has anything to do with that, but yeah, do what you need to do. So this is what I said. So this person right here, this is me right here, internal enthusiasm on Reddit. So, let's go with best first. So, I've been playing through the Yakuza series recently, which after playing 0, I fell in love with the series. I think it perfectly led into Kiwami so well with the main antagonist. Even some stories I found amazing after getting to that point in the story with nods to the major plot characters added in. Okay, yeah, I agree. Okay. Today I finally beat 3, which I love personally, is probably my favorite so far. Oof. Okay, alright, good for you, man. Good for you. Again, that's totally okay. That's fine, buddy. That's fine. It is. No, really, it is. It's totally okay. I'm trying to beat them all in order, one after another. I kind of am too. But I thought the orphanage section was really soothing at the start. Yes, it was. Yes, it showed us how to Kiryu being a parental figure, especially after the over-the-top ending in Kiwami 2. I also, I felt was much needed. Yes, because rest in peace, Goda. He was a go. I loved him. And Sayama fucking out for the beginning of 3 was so sad too, because I really liked her. I really liked her for Kiryu. They would have been great together. What was I gonna say? I also really liked that one character that trains Kiryu on the beach. I forgot his name, but he's kind of crazy, and I absolutely love him. Of course, I have the benefit of playing this one after another to experience the whole story and not wait years in advance for release like other people do. So I can say why people I can see why or way people may not like 3 as much as the entries, but I want to see other people's opinions regarding what they thought of the game as a whole. I personally love Yakuza 3. I think the main people really dislike it is because they're going from Dragon Engine to janky PS3 controls. Yeah, but that's a fair reason, dude. That's a fair reason not to like the game, especially if it's a re-release of an older game. That should have been something that they pay attention to, but they didn't. It's kind of, at the end of the day, Yakuza 3 Remastered is a rush product, and that's a shame. I only wish we got Kiwami 3, which we might soon. I think Kiwami 3 wouldn't be as good. It's not the game's fault that people played the 2009 game in 2020. Okay. So, no, but it's the developer's fault for not wanting to finish their remakes. Thank you for saying that. Yes, it wasn't a remake, it's an HD remaster, and that's it. I was saying that they only really wanted to, and they should finish the remaking of their games. 3 was absolutely terrible in my opinion. I rushed through the entire thing just so I knew the story. That's what I recommend you doing. Okay? I'm not saying the game is going to be terrible for you. It might be, it might not be, whatever, but I recommend just getting through it however you need to. So I said, I chimed in. And I said, with the Kiwami 2 to Yakuza 3 transition logic in mind, couldn't the same thing be said about Yakuza 4 and 5? Like, okay, listen, I am currently playing, listen, I am currently playing Yakuza 4, the PS4 remaster, and I'm loving the hell out of it. Spoiler alert, as I just started the Q's chapter. I wasn't really enjoying myself as much with Yakuza 3, and I did everything I could to enjoy that game. I really did. I don't think that it has anything to do with the game being for 2009. No, it doesn't. there are a ton of timeless gold standard games that were releasing around that time. Now, here's the thing. I don't agree with people not liking Yakuza 3, because it isn't the same engine as the Dragon engine. No, I don't think that's the entire reason why people don't like it, which is true, because, no, you're right. It feels rough to play in general, mostly because I feel it is the first of its kind when transitioning the series from standard definition to HD. It's technically the second, but I forgot about that. And it's the first game to be set on a different engine. Well, no, second, but that's okay. From the first two, I believe. I also wasn't the biggest fan of the game's plot compared to Yakuza 0, 1, and 2, and now 4's. Even OG 1, yes, on the PS2, feels more interesting to play to me than 3 does. And that probably says a lot right there. Right, so I didn't get too much into what I'm trying to say, but... seriously, Yakuza 3 is not perfect or anything. It's just, well, it's not... It may not be perfect, but it's not, super great either. I'm glad it got, mostly positive reviews. That's fine, but it's are these people really being honest? A 9 out of 10? Really? This is the only time where I'm I don't agree with that at all. I would be really mad if that was Shadow the Hedgehog or something. But, Alright, guys, that's kind of what I wanted to say. I'm sorry, Yakuza 3, for being rough on you. If you haven't played it before, though, go ahead and play it anyways. Enjoy it for yourself. I hope you do. It's not a terrible game, but it's not the best in the series or anything like that. I think you should definitely play Yakuza 0. It's a wonderful game, but super long to get through. So if you're new to the franchise, I recommend picking up whichever one you want to first. Really, there's no wrong answer because, like I said, it's really simple just to look up what happens in each game before. And in each game, it's like Zelda and Sonic and Mario. Each game is its own self-contained story, and you don't really need to play a single title. With Zelda, the only exception I can think of right now is Majora's Mask to that, and maybe Tears of the Kingdom. But even so, it's each game is still its own story from game middle to end. So yeah, this is not Shenmue, right? With Shenmue, you should absolutely put that game in order because all the games it's one giant continuous storyline video game that just keeps going until it's over. So I'm so happy that Shenmue finally got written down in a book. The story did, and that they're gonna make 4 soon, I think. But anyways, guys, peace out. This is the Y2K reviewer signing out. Thank you again for watching my video. I'm sorry for being kind of negative towards Yakuza 3. I don't hate the game, but it's not my favorite. So yeah. All right, bye guys. Thanks again for watching. I might review it one day. In fact, I just found out I did start writing a script for it, but it was, oh my god. Okay, here's the thing. While I was playing Yakuza 3, I did not feel like reviewing it at all. Even after I finished the game, I was I don't feel like reviewing this game. I really don't. And now I feel like I want to review Yakuza 3, not only because some time has passed, but because Yakuza 4 is enlightening the fire and passion I have for this series. Okay? So think about that. The sequel title is making me feel like I want to review this game. Not the actual game itself. Not the actual Yakuza 3 itself. Yakuza 4 is making me feel like I want to talk about Yakuza 3 as a review. That's not entirely a positive thing, guys. That's not entirely a positive thing towards Yakuza 3. I think you get that. Okay. Goodbye. Have a good one. Take care. Thank you for watching.